Have you ever wondered where the concept of Satan originated from? It's a question that has puzzled theologians, historians, and curious minds alike for centuries. The genesis of Satan, or the embodiment of evil, can be traced back to ancient religions, long before the advent of Christianity or Islam. In those early times, the figure we now recognize as Satan was not always associated with the moral dichotomy of good versus evil. Let's delve a bit deeper into the roots of this notorious figure, starting with Zoroastrianism, one of the world's oldest continuously practiced religions. Originating in ancient Persia, Zoroastrianism presents us with an adversarial entity named Angra Mainyu. This destructive spirit was not a symbol of moral evil, but rather a cosmic opponent to Ahura Mazda, the supreme deity representing truth and righteousness. Parallel to this, within early Hebrew texts, we encounter a figure referred to as Satan. However, this Satan was not the embodiment of evil we are familiar with today. In fact, the term Satan in Hebrew simply means adversary or accuser. This figure was seen as a celestial prosecutor of sorts, testing human faithfulness on God's behalf, rather than an instigator of evil deeds. As we move further along the timeline, we start to see a shift in perception. Within the intertestamental period, the period between the Old and New Testaments, Satan's role evolved. No longer just an adversary, he began to personify evil, tempting humans to stray from their virtuous paths. This transformation didn't happen overnight. It was a gradual process, influenced by cultural shifts, religious conflicts, and philosophical debates. The Satan we know today, the embodiment of all things wicked and malevolent, is a product of centuries of evolution and reinterpretation. The image of Satan we have today evolved gradually, becoming more complex over time. From a non-moral adversarial role in ancient religions to the epitome of evil in modern theology, Satan's origins are as fascinating as they are eerie. Our journey into the history of Satan has just begun. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into this captivating topic. Christianity played a significant role in molding the image of Satan. In the vast tapestry of Christian theology, Satan emerges as a complex figure. In the Old Testament, he's not quite the malevolent force we often think of today. Here, he serves as an adversary or accuser, challenging humans and even engaging in a sort of celestial legal debate with God, as seen in the Book of Job. His function is largely to test the faith and righteousness of mankind, acting more as an agent of God than an independent force of evil. The New Testament, however, ushers in a shift in Satan's characterization. He morphs into an unmistakable embodiment of malevolence and deceit. The Gospel of Matthew, for instance, narrates the temptation of Jesus in the desert, a pivotal event that underscores Satan's role as a tempter. Luring Jesus with promises of worldly power and glory, Satan seeks to sway the Son of God from his divine path. But Jesus, steadfast in his faith, rebukes Satan, reinforcing the image of the devil as a seducer leading the faithful astray. The Book of Revelation, the final book of the New Testament, presents a dramatic end-time conflict between God and Satan. Here, Satan is depicted as a dragon, a beast, a deceiver of nations, and the instigator of Armageddon. This apocalyptic narrative further cements Satan's image as the arch-enemy of God and humanity, a force of chaos and destruction. Throughout the New Testament, Satan is consistently portrayed as the ultimate deceiver, the father of lies, who uses deceit to lead humanity away from God. He is the tempter who entices humans to sin, the accuser who then condemns them for their transgressions. Over time, these biblical portrayals have shaped our collective understanding of Satan. From the serpent in the Garden of Eden to the tempting devil in the desert, and finally to the apocalyptic beast of Revelation, Satan's image has evolved and solidified. Christianity solidified Satan's image as the embodiment of evil and the enemy of God and mankind. In the modern world, the concept of Satan has taken on new forms, influenced by literature, popular culture, and new religious movements. This evolution reflects our ever-changing societal attitudes and fears. In contemporary literature and film, Satan often appears as a complex, even sympathetic character. In novels like John Milton's Paradise Lost, Satan is portrayed as a tragic anti-hero, embodying ambition and rebellion. Similarly, in movies like The Devil's Advocate, Satan is a charismatic figure embodying the seductive power of evil. These depictions represent a shift away from the traditional image of Satan as an embodiment of pure evil, towards a more nuanced understanding of his role as a symbol of our inner struggles and temptations. Meanwhile, in popular culture, Satan has become a figure of rebellion and individualism. Rock and metal music, for instance, often employ satanic imagery not as an endorsement of evil, but as a statement of defiance against societal norms and expectations. This reflects a broader trend towards questioning authority and championing individual freedom. Moving on to new religious movements such as Satanism, we see an even more radical reinterpretation of Satan. Rather than viewing him as a literal figure, these movements often interpret Satan as a symbol of individualism and rebellion against arbitrary authority. For instance, the Church of Satan, founded in the late 20th century, doesn't believe in Satan as a real entity, but uses his image to represent a philosophy of self-determination and personal responsibility. These modern interpretations of Satan are not just about evil and temptation. They also reflect our society's shifting values and anxieties. They challenge us to question our assumptions, confront our fears, and explore the darker aspects of our nature. Today, Satan remains a powerful symbol, interpreted and used in a variety of ways across different cultures and belief systems. Whether as a literary character, a symbol of rebellion, or a philosophical principle, Satan continues to provoke, challenge, and fascinate us in the modern world. So, what have we learned about the history of Satan? We journeyed from the ancient origins of Satan, where he was conceived as a figure of opposition, testing humanity's resilience and faith. We then delved into Christianity's portrayal of Satan. Here, he's seen as the embodiment of evil, the fallen angel cast out of heaven, and a tempter leading humanity astray. But the story doesn't end there. Our exploration continued into modern interpretations of Satan. In these perspectives, Satan's image is often used symbolically to represent rebellion against established norms and authority. Some even view him as a purely fictional character in religious texts and popular culture. The image of Satan has undergone profound transformations throughout the ages, reflecting societal changes and human fears. Whether seen as the embodiment of evil, a symbol of rebellion, or a fictional character, Satan's image is deeply rooted in our culture and continues to evolve.